everyone. Why we are referring to the mind as a circus? Circus is not a mess. Circus is a very coordinated activity, made to look like a mess. Deliberately made to look like a mess, but an extremely well-coordinated activity, that's what circus is. So the circus of the mind, if you have to experience it as a miraculous, coordinated activity rather than as a mess, the most important and crucial thing is your intellect is not identified. Because once it's identified, your perception is so distorted, and this distortion permeates into every aspect of your life. You definitely have heard of Akbar and Birbal. When Akbar was an infant, his mother died. Or because she was a queen, they got another woman to breastfeed Akbar. And obviously that woman had a son.
Subscribe.
Then Akbar grew up into a great emperor. Because this woman had breastfed the emperor, they had given a whole village to her. And that boy also grew up into a man, but not much of a man. And he wasted and squandered the opportunity. He owned the whole village, but he wasted it and squandered it and lost it. And he was going through bad times. So one day, he thought, anyway, my mother has breastfed the emperor, so he owes something to me. In a way, I'm his brother. If I go and ask him something, he cannot refuse. With this idea, he came to Akbar. When he came, Akbar treated him with great respect, welcomed him in his court, honored him, introduced him to everyone as his brother, because both of them have drunk the milk of the same mother. And he stayed as a guest, attended many meetings which he could not understand the head or tail of. He was totally out of place. But Akbar took him around well-dressed, like his brother. After being there for a few weeks, he thought, my misfortune is only because I don't have good people around me. See, Akbar has such wonderful people. Above all, he has Birbal. That's why he's doing so well. If only I also had someone like Birbal around me, I would also become a great man. He expressed this to Akbar. He said, you have Birbal and you have become so great. If I could also have someone like Birbal, you have so many people, you can give Birbal to me. Now, this boy is a few days older to Akbar, and Akbar treated him as an elder brother. When his elder brother requests, give something to me, I'm in bad times, he could not refuse. So Akbar said, you can take Birbal. When Birbal came that evening, Akbar announced in the court, Birbal is leaving with my brother, my elder brother, tomorrow morning. Birbal looked at this situation that he has to go with this fool to the village. And Birbal immediately said, "Oh, your majesty, your elder brother definitely needs wise company, but I have a better idea. I can send my elder brother with him." "Is that okay?" they asked. So that man looked at this, if Birbal is so wonderful, his elder brother must be even more wonderful. He said, that's fine with me, I'll take Birbal's elder brother. He must be even better. So Akbar also was relieved because though he wanted to be generous to his brother, He did not want to lose Birbal. He was also relieved. So next day morning, in the court, grand send-off is being organized. Birbal came into the court with a bull on the tow. Akbar said, "What is this?" Birbal said, "This is my brother. We drank the milk of the same mother." Once your intellect gets identified with something, then you are all messed. So this identity is not on one level, it is on many, many, many levels. Because of this complex system of identification, you are in a complex mess. So on one level, it is a mess. On another level, it is a highly coordinated activity. If you… today much work has gone into looking at the activity of the mind or the brain as such. If you look at the way the neurons are firing in the brain and what is happening, there is a tremendous sense of cohesiveness in this activity. It is that cohesiveness which is translating into the function of the body. A billion things are happening in this body right now, simply because there is a very, very extremely highly coordinated play and dance of neurons in the brain. But mind as an experience for people, in most people's experience, unfortunately, it's become a mess. So it's a circus. Both the aspects of the circus are there. Even the clown in the circus is a gymnast, hugely coordinated, but he's made to look like a clown. So the outer expression may be that of a clown, but he's hugely talented and balanced in his activity. That is the experience of most people when it comes to their mental activity. So what is the possibility of this circus? How the circus can take you to great heights, how this circus can also render you to the depths of hell within yourself. Both are possible. Both these possibilities are very much alive for every one of us right now. So how we conduct this circus is a whole thing. How much of it can we take charge of is a whole thing. Why is it that mind, which is the most miraculous instrument, which is the most miraculous possibility in our life, has also become a misery manufacturing machine on this planet? Every kind of misery that human beings are going through is manufactured in their mind. Why is it for one person, mind seems to be a pleasant experience, and for another person, mind seems to be a torture? Unable to bear the mental torture, people have invented various kinds of deviations, various kinds of perversions on this planet just to somehow deal with the mess of the mind. And these perversions might have given them temporary relief, but after some time, it again multiplies the mess, it doesn't really take it away. The moment your intellect… let's differentiate between these two. Intellect is like a scalpel which is constantly cutting through everything. Your ability to discriminate between one thing and the other is purely because of your intellect. You can make a distinction between me and this seat only because your intellect is functioning. You know that you must come through the door, not through the wall, only because your intellect is functioning. Without the activity of the intellect, you cannot discriminate. So the basic process of discrimination, setting things apart, is happening because of the intellect. So this is like a scalpel which is cutting everything to give you some sense of perception. If a knife has to cut through anything effortlessly and well, it's extremely important that whatever that it cuts through does not stick to it. You cut a cake today, tomorrow you cut bread, day after tomorrow you cut something else. If all of it, the residue of it goes on sticking to this knife, after some time, this knife becomes a useless knife. I think some of you, in your kitchens, you must have experienced the ladies. You cut onions with this knife. After that, you go and cut mangoes, you go and cut apples, everything tastes like onion. Isn't it so? Because the residue of what you cut through, once it sticks to the knife, now that knife in many ways becomes more of a nuisance than of help. Or in other words, once your intellect gets identified with something or the other, after that, your intellect gets chained with identifications. Once this happens, you have a completely distorted